Hello everyone and welcome back to another graphing calculator how-to video. Today we are going to be looking at how to calculate sample standard deviation and other one variable statistics on a TI-84. These steps should be pretty much the same for a TI-83 as well, so if you're following along with the TI-83, most of this should look exactly the same. So what we are going to be doing is, let's say that we have this data here, which represents a study of high school football players that suffered concussions, and these data entries are the times that their concussions that it took to recover from their concussions in days. And what we're going to do is we're going to find the sample variance and the sample standard deviations of the recovery times. And while we're at it, we're going to find that we're going to find a lot more one variable statistics than just variance and standard deviation. So what we need to do first is we need to enter this data into our calculators. So we're going to enter the data into our lists. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to press the Stat button here. Edit is editing the list, so since option number 1 is already highlighted, I'm just going to press Enter. Now remember, if you already have something in either L1 or L2 or any other list, you need to clear out that data first before you go entering in any other data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the up arrow to select L1. I'm going to press Clear, not Delete. And then I'm going to press the down arrow, and that will clear the entire list. And you're going to do this for any other lists that have data in them. You should have a completely blank set of lists. Then I'm going to enter this data one at a time, remembering that you need to press Enter after each entry. So I have 4, and then I have 7, then 6, 7, 9, 5, 8, 10, 9, 8, 7, and 10. So then what we are going to do is we're going to go back to the Stat button, and this time we're going to press the right arrow to toggle over to this menu here, Calc. This will calculate a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to be doing a few of these things here. The first option that is currently selected is one var stats. This is one variable statistics, and that's what we're actually going to be doing. So you're just going to select option 1 by pressing Enter. Now on a TI-83, you probably either got kicked back to the home screen and it just said one var stats. Just press Enter again. If you have one of these lists, you're just going to make sure that under list it says L1, because L1 is where your data is, so you need to make sure that says L1. If it doesn't, you just press Clear, and then second one will get you list number 1. Frequist you're going to leave blank, and then you're going to toggle down to Calculate, and then you're going to press Enter. And then we have this screen here. Now, a couple of these symbols might actually look familiar. X bar should look familiar. That is the sample mean. So the sample mean for this is 7.5, and it calculated it for you. Sample standard deviation is right here, this SX. So the sample standard deviation SX is going to be 1.88. We'll round it. So SX is the sample standard deviation, and that's what you really need to focus on. Now, a couple other one variable statistics of note. N, remember that is the sample size. There were 12 entries. Minimum, the minimum data entry, so the smallest data entry, which is 4. Q1, which we're going to learn in a later video, which is called quartile 1. So quartile 1 is 6.5. And this little arrow right here means that there is more. So if you press the down arrow, this list actually goes on for a little bit. Median, is 7.5. Q3, which as we're going to learn in a later video, stands for quartile 3. And then the maximum, or the largest data entry, is 10. So it gives you the minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum, as well as the sample size, sample standard deviation, and sample mean. And those are the ones of note. Now remember, SX here is the sample standard deviation. This question also asked for sample variance. You might remember that standard deviation is simply the square root of variance. Conversely, variance is simply standard deviation squared. So if you want to find the sample variance, all you have to do is take this sample standard deviation, which is that 1.8829, and square it. Let's try that again. 1.8829, and then you're going to square it, and then that will be your sample variance. Make sure that you go out several decimal places. We all know how your homework is very picky on accuracy. So that was how to calculate sample standard deviation as well as sample mean and other one variable statistics on a TI-84. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me, and thank you all very much for watching. Bye-bye.